Hello everyone, my name is Brendan Marr, that noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And thank you for tuning in to Page Turners They Were Not My Star Wars podcast. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And I certainly have. The more I've given thought to the Rise of Skywalker, the more I've loved it. It's right after I posted my, or recorded, I should say, my initial reaction video, or podcast, on Friday night after getting home. I bought the soundtrack immediately. And I tell you what, I've liked the soundtracks to this trilogy so far. This one is my favorite of the new Star Wars movies. Even over Solo, which is weird because I love Solo's soundtrack. Though it's so close to being tied with the Rise of Skywalker soundtrack that it's a toss-up. It really is. John Williams has outdone himself. The Rise of Skywalker soundtrack is marvelous. And he's been nominated for the Academy Award for Best Score for both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. I think it's pretty clear he's going to get nominated for The Rise of Skywalker. I hope he does. If he doesn't, I don't know. That might be a bit of a travesty. I mean, to be fair, I haven't heard the competition. Now, if he gets nominated, there are several reasons why I think he might actually win. This is his conclusion to Star Wars. But furthermore, as he's aging, he's slowing down his work output. Now, Academy voters have been known to allow external forces to influence their votes, including voting for someone because of what their legacy represents. Such as the case of, say, Al Pacino winning Best Actor was said to a woman, or Scorsese winning Best Director or Best Picture, finally, for The Departed. These are admirable works, and I believe that the Academy members were swayed by their love of the individual. And that's not a bad thing, because we're all biased in our art, and that's totally acceptable. So I think dear old Johnnie Williams could walk away with an Oscar this year as sort of an award to his legacy. But you know what? If he does win, I'd say it's going to be well deserved. I don't know what the competition is, as I said, except I think that Joker is pretty clearly going to get nominated, and for all we know, that could win Best Score, because that was an amazing score. By a cellist, but she never, I think I read that she'd never composed before, but whatever. But if John Williams wins an Oscar for his score, it's going to be worth it. And I certainly hope he at least gets the nomination, which I would be very sad if he did not. Unless the competition is so good, there's just no room for it. The more I thought about this movie, the more I've loved it. Now, to be fair, I've seen it once. The reason why I'm saving my full review till after I've seen it at least twice is so that I don't have this, to see if the magic holds up again for me the second time around. And that it's not just the after-movie sugar rush that's causing me to feel the way I do. But I am fairly confident that if I see it again, I'm going to feel the same way. And that's really what it's about. It's about how this movie makes me feel. That is true for all my favorite movies, or all the movies that I love. They make me feel something. Now, anything in the movie can make me feel something. It could be the art of the filmmaking itself. Schindler's List, even though it deals with extremely dark subject matter, I get so much joy out of watching because of how well made it is. Or I could watch something like Lawrence Arabia, and I connect with the character of Lawrence. I connect with the other characters emotionally. It could be movies where, like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, of course, all the Harry Potter films, where I love them because of the supporting cast. And the great, great British actors that were brought on board. I'm a sucker for that, and there is nothing wrong with being a sucker for those kind of things. You know, I'm a sucker for historical dramas, and so that's why they suck me in. In cases of movies like Lawrence Arabia, but other movies that have that historical element. So it's not just one thing, but I typically review movies in terms of what they make me feel. The Rise of Skywalker made me feel so happy and so full of joy that I love it. And I can't say anything other than that. Also, I felt that it wrapped up the story very nicely. Of this trilogy in particular, I have yet to determine did it wrap up the saga properly. But I'd say that if you ask me right now, I would say yes, it did. In fact, I had tweeted the other day that the Rise of Skywalker could be a great name for the entire 9-movie saga. That is the story. Now, you may say, well, only the first 6 movies are about Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker, but I would disagree. I think the sequel trilogy is about the legacy of Anakin. Particularly through Luke and Leia, but Anakin's legacy plays a major role in this new trilogy. And so I think the Rise of Skywalker and the story of Anakin's fall, redemption, and legacy are all the 3 parts of the Rise of Skywalker. Maybe I'll take a George R. Martin approach and call it the saga of Skywalker, because it's like this great epic national poem, like the Kalevala or other national epics. Dante's Inferno, or I should say the Commedia, Dante's Commedia, which is Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso. It's a national epic. It's an epic poem. It's what I think this saga is. And I gotta be honest, I was so moved. I was choked up. At several points in the movie, I cried. When the movie was over, I sat in stunned silence in the theater for a minute, and I had to collect my thoughts before I could say anything. Now, that may sound like I'm overselling it, but no, I'm being completely honest with you. That is exactly my reaction to the movie. I have the music playing in my head, and I've been listening to it all weekend. This movie emotionally affected me. And I can't deny it. And yes, there were things that did not go the way I wanted them to go, but I love them. Now, that may sound like a contradiction. Well, trust me, it's not. Just because I wanted something to go a certain way, or let me rephrase that, hoped that something would go a certain way, and it didn't go that way, does not mean that I was disappointed. I tried to keep my expectations in check. There's not much I can say without spoiling the movie, so I won't. But I will just say that there are things that did not go the way that I thought they would or hoped they would. But me personally, I love the decisions made. So, I loved this movie, and it made me feel so happy. It moved me so much that I applaud J.J. Abrams, and this movie, at the moment, is a beloved movie to me. Now, next week I'm going to be doing a podcast on my favorite movies of the decade. You won't see this movie on there because I haven't seen it enough to make that determination. But there is a Star Wars movie that will be on there. We'll discuss that later. So I really hope that you go and see The Rise of Skywalker and have an experience similar to mine, where it moves you. Now, if not, that's okay. If you don't like this movie, that's okay. If you think it's okay, that's fine. If you like it but didn't find yourself moved by it, that's okay. All that really matters is that we be completely honest in our opinions. And as I have had to learn, not modify my opinions to fit in with what's popular. And I tell you right now, I love this movie. And that's how I look at movies, is how they make me feel. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator, and thank you for tuning in to Page Turners They Were Not, my Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.